Hi, good morning. This is Scott. Welcome to the meditation live stream. Here on this channel, we're working with meditation, but in a kind of mindfulness 2.0. We're working with our body, our emotion, our mind, our relationships. And we're using awareness to develop these dimensions and from this place understand a spiritual practice that impacts our life in a variety of positive and more holistic ways. And I like to give a brief talk and then we'll get into a practice. This week has gone by very quickly. Feeling better than I did. I think there's quite a few sort of late winter, early spring colds going around where I live, and if you're in a helping profession, you tend to be exposed to, or if you're public facing, you tend to be exposed to different kind of viruses and so on. You know, and it gives me a lot of thinking. It's made me think a lot about how things pass, from how we pass on ideas. And, you know, videos go viral, we go viral. Good things go viral, and things that cause disease go viral. And it's a very interesting phenomenon that causes me to think a lot about where ideas come from, and you know, they just kind of, as a creative person, ideas just come to me, and sometimes I wonder if they're just similar to infection in some ways. Anyway, I have been working on understanding evil for many days. And this past weekend and the previous week, I was reading a book on sort of the psychological personality disorders. And, you know, I guess it's estimated that 1 in 5 people have a cluster B personality disorder, which I thought was very high. I thought the percentage would be lower than that, but it's not. So it makes me wonder, you know, not necessarily everyone is evil, but it makes you wonder about evil. The callousness, the sort of egocentric behavior to a large degree where you don't even consider others as having subjectivity at all or their own sense of self. So it's a very interesting and concerning phenomenon in our, you know, there's a lot of talk on nature versus nurture. How has it come about? And kind of what I've come to over these past few days is that evil kind of functions specifically on the pattern of inversion. So it will take anything and reverse it to the opposite polarity for added effect, manipulation, control, or to induce fear. And I think if we could apply that to our life, we can see how inversion or reflection in this way of creating a thing and the opposite of it creates a kind of tension in our life and in ourselves. And specifically when it comes to spiritual bypassing, which I think is a phenomenon of spiritual narcissism, which would fall under a kind of cluster B, like a personality disorder, with somebody who is all love and all light, but yet they're all controlling, all manipulative. They don't tell the truth. They avoid their own acts of violence on themselves or others or their pets. There are these people who practice love and light, but don't seem to see their own shadow. because it's a bypass. And I think that's why real practitioners are less common, because there are people out there giving you a prescription for bliss, or to be more productive, or to biohack something, and then there are people who are really willing to, quote unquote, do the work. And that work is with a capital W, which means when you practice, things about yourself will arise from your shadow with which you to alchemize or look at. And you can do one of two things. You can turn away from that which comes up, or you can turn toward it with a sense of grace. And that grace is afforded to those who practice patience with themselves and self-compassion, and ask in a kind of holistic way to Spirit for a guidance when dealing with their own darkness or the darkness of others. And we could say darkness, this is like darkness, shadow, evil, or as I put it earlier, inversion. So there's more to say about that. Maybe I'll get into that tomorrow. But we'll practice today on this wonderful Friday, but beginning with our eyes closed. And we'll start with some deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting go on the out breath. Letting go of tension and excess resistance. Just dropping everything like a dog dropping a ball from its mouth. Allowing your breath to reach all the way down into your pelvic floor, into your legs and feet. Good. Then we'll do 3 more. Great. Allowing your breath now to return to your usual way of breathing, and gently placing your attention on your physical body and your body sensations. You can feel your body's digestion, temperature, subtle movement, tingling and pulsing, sense of aliveness and presence. Feel your body's connection with the earth underneath you, your contact with the planet. And we can begin together the art and the practice of feeling and softening. On the in-breath, feeling your body. Then on the out-breath, softening, melting down through your body and into the earth. And the melting can be like this warm, healing honey that cleanses, heals, purifies, and makes whole as it travels down through your body and into the earth, where the earth naturally receives that energy and recycles and transforms it. Very good. And bringing your attention up now into your heart, feeling your heart space, center of your chest. You can imagine as though you're breathing directly in and out of your heart. On the in-breath, excuse me, on the in-breath, feeling your heart. Then on the out-breath, softening and expanding your heart. Intentionally moving into your heart space is always a place where heaven and earth meet, and there's always a sense of tenderness and warmth there. And coming in contact with your emotions, you can notice what's present for you emotionally right now. And without making your emotions right or wrong, good or bad, just allowing yourself to feel a little bit in the shared space. Excuse me. You could be feeling any of the 5 main cardinal emotions, like anger, sadness, fear, joy, or shame. And you could also be feeling numb, which is another valid emotional experience. And so we'll just see what's true for you emotionally right now for a little bit together. attention up now into your head, feeling your head on the in-breath. Then softening in and around your skull on the out-breath. You can, if you like, breathe into your third eye space between your eyebrows or your crown, the top of your head, and just practice feeling and softening in and around your head. Coming in contact with your thoughts, you can notice how busy or active your mind is, and you can practice coming back, or I call it returning to feeling or sensing your body, your spine, your connection to the earth for grounding and anchoring. Very good. And then from here, we can gently open our eyes, and we'll take a moment together with our eyes, keeping our eyes soft. And we'll practice in a relational space, but first we'll appreciate what we just did with our eyes closed. And we'll practice in the relational space, the space of outside and then inside, feeling outside on the in-breath, all around you on the in-breath, and then on the out-breath, feeling inside. And just practice noticing the distinction between the two, feeling outside and then inside. from here we can add in qualities to our practice. The qualities are love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness. We can practice sending and then receiving these qualities. So on the in-breath, feeling love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness around you on the in-breath. And then on the out-breath, love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness towards yourself. And just practice sending and receiving the qualities. And then from here we can set our prayers and our intentions for the day. I'll be quiet and you can do yours first. May this work that we do transform our life, offering up healing and blessings, and ripple out into the community, transforming our culture and our systems. Amen. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Today is Friday. Have an awesome Friday, and I'll be back again tomorrow. On Saturday, I go a little bit longer, and at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.